The Viktor Wilt Show. Hi. Everything's working. Yay. Welcome to the Viktor Wilt program, Wednesday, June 12th. Relentless. All of these delays. Starting my day. Jays. Anyway. How's your morning going? You can feel free to call and tell me all about it if something interesting happened at 208-535-1015. I'm just kind of getting moving for the day here. Had some coffee. Didn't seem to do what I wanted it to. What do we got going on in my existence today? Should be an interesting one. Got a radio friend who's going to be stopping by and crashing out at the house this evening. Sean, who you may have seen a picture of me with. Did I post a picture of him? Anyway, he works at KUPD in Phoenix. Gave me the old tour of the studios there when I was visiting my daughter a couple months ago. And at the time, I was like, hey, you ever travel through and you need a place to crash? Hit me up. Turns out he's heading to, I don't know, Seattle or something. Maybe Spokane. Somewhere in the vicinity of here and not Phoenix, and was going to be driving by. So I was like, all right, well, yeah, don't waste money on a hotel. My house, cheaper than that. I haven't decided what I'm going to charge him, but I will figure that out throughout the day today. Nah, just playing. My house has been a hotel for the last week, as a matter of fact. Had a few friends over. First time I had multiple people at my house stay there, just friends, in I don't know how many years. It was awesome. It was great. I don't know, just over the years, in the past life, that just wasn't happening. And it was very refreshing and fun. And over the next couple weeks, the kids are going to be coming, so we'll have 4th of July mayhem. It's going to be good times. Speaking of 4th of July mayhem, you know what you're going to be doing for the 4th of July, right? You're going to be hitting up Snake River Landing for the event known as Riverfest. Yeah, hanging out with us. And of course, it all culminates with the Melaleuca Freedom Celebration, biggest fireworks show west of the Mississippi. It's going to be awesome. Might as well plan ahead right now and, make your day. I'm going to be hanging out at the stage, hanging out with the bands all day long, so I'm super easy to find. Hopefully, the weather tones down a bit, because that can be a very hot day. I'm not much of a out in the sun kind of guy, and 4th of July is the one day that I have the best chance of being confined to a tent, in the heat all day. And this time of year, the temps can be all over the place. Like today, 88 for the high, but Sunday, 73. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a 4th of July with highs in the 70s? I don't think that's going to happen. I would imagine we'll be in the mid to high 80s because we always are. But for my sake, wish me a little bit of luck. I'm not, again, a huge fan of baking in the sun all day, but I do it to ensure that stage is run properly. All right. Show has begun officially. I'm going to, find real content for you, share it with you. If you want to hear a song or whatever, you can call me at that same number, 208-535-1015. If you don't want to do that, you can email me, Viktor@KBear.fm. K-Bear, what's happening?
Hey, Victor, I just wanted to answer your question. So my morning's going good because I wake up to you guys every morning and to listen to K-Bear. And also, I was wondering, could you play Medicate Me by Rain City Drive?
Yeah, I could definitely get that going. And who's this?
This is Kelsey.
Kelsey, appreciate the call and you listening every morning. And yeah, I'll get that track on right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hey, you too. Thanks, Kelsey. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Let's talk about rating songs. Just played a new one from Poppy. If you are listening on the KBear 101 app, or if you're listening on our website over at riverbendmediagroup.com, kbear.fm, we've got a feature where you can thumbs up and thumbs down songs, and it's always interesting to see how these things play out because there's basically no rhyme or reason to it. Some songs I would expect to see some divisive results. Like if a song has Poppy in it, I expect to see divisive results. I don't know, something about Poppy makes some people crazy. However, we have some songs that people really like with Poppy in the thumbs up, thumb down game, and others that they just hate. It's one or the other. Apparently, Poppy with Knocked Loose, currently a very popular one. Maybe it's because it's just relentlessly heavy. One thing I'm noticing here is I think the metalheads are doing most of the thumbs up and thumbs downing. Because the metal tracks tend to do pretty good, though Metallica Screaming Suicide, lots of thumbs downs. So I just wanted to encourage you to play the thumbs up, thumbs down game because it's fun for me to look at. I don't know if I'll ultimately make any kind of programming decisions from it, but I do notice if a song seems to be universally hated, but we need more people, so I have a bigger pool of respondents before I'd consider this information accurate as far as what the overwhelming K-Bear majority thinks. It's like all the other polls out there. Yeah, they ask we asked 300 people nationwide who they're going to vote for. And then every news source out there's like, you wouldn't believe the poll results. 300 people nationwide is not a very good sample. All right. That I put zero faith in those kind of results. So wanted to, again, encourage you to play the thumbs up, thumbs down game. Some of the divisive tracks we've got floating around right now would include the latest from Five Finger Death Punch. We've got that Olivia Rodrigo that I don't care. I put it in rotation simply because it's more rockin' than a lot of the stuff on the rock radio charts. It's a statement, all right? It's just a statement. It's like a Victor Wilt-style radio protest, all right? So it's not universally hated by the K-Bear Army either. Plenty of thumbs up on that one. What else is divisive? This is weird. Chokehold by Sleep Token, divisive. But Take Me Back to Eden, which is like 9 minutes long, universally loved. Chokehold, short, much more simple, doesn't have rap in it. Much more divisive. Again, no rhyme or reason to a lot of this voting that I'm seeing here. So get involved. Have some fun with it. It's, a way to pass the time if you're listening on one of our digital platforms. And I appreciate your feedback. Hey, random listener, why don't you get a job in radio? Why don't you do some radio programming and help out this industry? I was just reading about 97.1, the Eagle in Dallas, Texas. Everybody very excited this station had returned to rock music. Everybody except me, because it's an iHeartMedia station, and I figured it's going to be garbage, as is typical of most rock radio stations out there. The playlist is going to suck. They're going to play weak new music. The rest of the playlist is going to be just boring with nothing exciting thrown in. The same kind of playlist you could find anywhere in America. However, I did figure they'd do local hosts. I mean, Dallas is one of the biggest markets in America. What market is Dallas? 5? This is a top 5 radio market, okay? Well, what did KEGL do? They hired a syndicated morning show, which I'm fine with this particular morning show. The Woody Show. Peaches, I think, has some friends who work there. It's a fine enough show. Not my cup of tea on what I want to listen to for a radio show, but it's fine. It's fine. However, in market number 5, on what is known in the biz as a pretty legendary rock station, I think it's pretty stupid to not hire some type of morning show that could engage with the local market. What? This is why rock radio sucks everywhere. Generally, management gives no love to the rock station. I don't even know why they have a rock station at a lot of these companies, because they don't care about the station at all. Looking at the playlist, it's the generic iHeartRadio national playlist. They aren't even playing new music, all right? They have one current. What a current is in radio is a song that is new. It's a current song. They have one that shows up on what is classified as currents on this system known as Media Base, which is a radio charting system. So one song that the system classifies as a current. I just want to see how many we've played in the last, I don't know what it would default to, probably a few weeks or so. Let's see how many songs it would classify as a current on KEGL here. All right, currents only that we've played. We'll just do in the last week. Now, some of these are not really currents because the system is going to recognize songs that nobody else in radio has played at all as current. So even if they're a few years old, it's going to recognize a lot of the songs we play because we have one of the widest playlists in rock radio. Okay, in the last week, the system recognized 115 songs on our system as being currents. One on KEGL. And they've got a morning show out of LA. Boy, they're going to move the dial. Let me tell you, that's going to get people so excited. Hearing the same songs you could expect on any Pandora, YouTube, Spotify, and especially radio playlist nationwide. They don't even play new music in the middle of the night. Usually radio stations that are like, yeah, we're a new music station. They play most of their new music in the middle of the night when nobody's hearing it. I can't believe these guys aren't playing new music in the middle of the night. That's actually really weird. These guys are, I mean, they've got to be the most gutless modern rock station that I've seen because they do play songs from within the last few years, like Linkin Park Lost. They got a couple of those. But aside from that, I mean, this station, it's sad. It is really sad. And if they keep it programmed like this, syndicated show, week playlist, how long do you think before they dump the station again? Because they've dumped it before. They turned it into, The Freak, where it was nothing but talk. At least it was local. That was probably a better station. This is a sad, pathetic radio station in its current state. Anyway, rip in advance to the Eagle and sorry, Dallas. If you know anybody in the Dallas area and they're looking for a rock station, our app is available worldwide for free, and we probably have way, way less commercials because I've listened to iHeartMedia stations in major markets. You're probably getting 12 minutes at least of commercials an hour. I mean, if not more. I don't know. I'm not going to tune in and find out. But yeah, tell your homies in the Dallas area if you're listening to this show, if they want a music radio station. I know on the on-demand version of the show, you don't get the music, but I highly recommend checking out KEGL 101 as far as a rock radio music station goes. Yeah, tell your friends in probably any market to check us out, but especially Dallas. It's pathetic. Yo, howdy, and good morning to you. Hey, if you didn't hear me mention it yesterday, want to let you know about a variety of giveaways we have going on in our app, the KEGL 101 app. Lots of different prizes you could win. I recommend getting in on all of these immediately because we'll be doing drawings for these very soon. For example, the Ronald McDonald Family Room Summer Movie Series, all to benefit the Ronald McDonald Family Room at Ermac. Great local facility helping out families. Go see The Sandlot at Melaleuca Field this Saturday night. You might be able to go for free. Giving away family 4-packs. You can sign up to win one of those in our KEGL 101 app. Now, I recommend you buy some tickets because, again, it is for a good cause. But, hey, you go for free. Gives you some more money to spend on other things that will benefit the Ronald McDonald Family Room. food and such. Plus, they got a lot of great activities for the family. You're looking to have some fun with the kids. They'll have face painting, scavenger hunts, all kinds of different stuff going on prior to the movie. Now, we are also giving away tickets to another movie for those of you who are maybe a little bit older. I mean, The Sandlot is a good movie for people of all ages. It's a classic. But we've got a new movie that only has 2 showings. Ghost's debut feature film, right here, right now, at Regal Edwards Grand Teton, June 20th and 22nd. We're giving away free tickets. All you got to do, enter to win in the KEGL 101 app, and you might be able to go for free. Peaches and I are going to be there. I would not miss out on an opportunity to see Ghost's debut feature film in a movie theater because there's only so many showings. Will it ever be shown in a theater again? I don't know. Will we get some new information on the next iteration of Ghost? I'm guessing so. We might even get a new song or something. I should probably call the label and be like, come on, tell me what's going on. I won't tell you listeners, but go see the movie. It'll be fun. You might be able to go for free, too. All you've got to do is sign up in the KEGL app. So we've got rockin' movies and classic kids baseball movies. Why not sign up and try to go for free? Fire up that app, click the links, fill out the forms, and good luck to you. We'll be drawing winners tomorrow and Friday. So get on it so that you can be a winner. I'm not saying you're a loser if you don't win, all right? But it feels good to be a winner. Let's pass some judgment on internet responses to a question. That question being, what's a common social etiquette rule you just don't agree with? And this is one of those great breaks where I've read none of these responses. I have no idea what angle people are going to take on this. Because, I mean, when I think of social etiquette rules, what are some of the main social etiquette rules? I have no idea. No clue. Guess we'll find out. Let's see. We got user We Were Dreaming 316 saying, I have never understood why people are afraid to tell someone else they have food in their teeth or something on their face. Now, okay, you should tell people in that situation, all right? I enjoy eating a nice salad, and sometimes I will go look at myself in the mirror a few hours later, and I have a chunk of romaine just covering an entire tooth, and I look like hillbilly from down south, and I know people have seen it. Tell me if I have something stuck in my teeth, okay? Because I have a permanent retainer on both rows of teeth. It always feels like there's something in my teeth. Because there's crap attached to my teeth, all right? Not, crap. Permanent retainer. But anyhow, I don't think that's a social etiquette rule. As far as I know, most people would say, tell me I got stuff on my teeth. It might feel a little bit awkward, depending on who the person is, but I guarantee they're going to be happy that you're like, hey, dude, you got a giant chunk of lettuce sticking out of your teeth. Especially if it's one of those really dark pieces, like that purple lettuce that, it could look like you've got a major dental problem. And you're going to want to know about this just going about your day. So, again, I don't know if that's a etiquette rule, but highly recommended you tell people those kind of things. All right, Tom Palmer, 1979, says, I despise that it's more socially acceptable to be we'll say jerk, than it is to call someone out for being a jerk. Is it? I just think if you're dealing with someone who's a jerk and you call them out for being a jerk, especially depending on how you word it, the type of person who's just a jerk in public is likely, or at least more likely than a nice person, to have an irrational response to what you say to them. And there are people who would take the irrational response to a potentially violent level at times. So I don't think that it's a socially acceptable thing. I think it's a fear of crazy people. Because I get it. I see people being rude all the time. And you want to tell them where to go. But again, I don't want to get knocked upside the head because you can just die. Just a note to everybody out there. You know, you're at the bar or something and somebody's being a jerk. You don't need to try to man up and get yourself in an altercation. One wrong smack to the head, you could just straight up die. All right? And that's why you shouldn't just smack people across the head for no reason either. That should be a, only if needing to defend yourself situation, because you might kill somebody. It's not tough to start fights. You're just being a loser. Uh-oh, I can feel the aggressive alphas getting mad. Sorry. Settle down. You're not impressive. All right. What else do we got here? Sims. I don't know if I'm going to say the name of this user. But we'll just go on with their response. When you offer someone something and they say no, even though they want it, and you need to keep offering it to them until it's socially acceptable for them to take it. I'm trying to think here. Hey, do you want this? If you really want it, yeah, you should just say yes up front. Why wouldn't you? I saw another version of this in the responses here where people offer to help with chores. And you're like, nah, that's okay. That's okay. It is perfectly socially acceptable to go, yeah, sure. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you helping out. But I don't think it's socially unacceptable to be like, hey, no, you're my guest. Why don't you sit down and shut up and enjoy yourself? I don't want you doing chores. You don't have to accept help with chores. All right? Again, are any of these social etiquette rules? I don't think they are. I mean, they sort of fall into this vague realm of responses, but telling people you have something in your teeth or you sat on something, I don't think there's a social etiquette rule that goes, if you see someone sit on another person, made the example of a chocolate-covered cherry, that could make a real mess in an area that you don't want to have chocolate and cherry smeared all over the place because it could look really bad. I'm pretty sure you should tell somebody. The social etiquette rule is not go, oh, don't tell somebody if they have a stain. No, help somebody out, all right? Help somebody out and go like, you look like you had a bad accident. You're going to want to clean that up. You got to be careful when taking pictures of people in public. It's rude at times. I talked recently about somebody posting a picture of somebody's Cybertruck locally and just trashing it in the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group. Listen, just because you personally don't like something doesn't mean that somebody else can't love it, all right? Everybody has a different taste in things. When that Cybertruck was first announced, I'm sure I was one of the first to say, that thing looks ridiculous. I would totally drive that because it looks absurd. And by the way, shout out to the 2 different people who have brought one by the studio in the last week. I mean, I'm not going to say names on air. Well, I guess I could talk about the guy yesterday who brought it by because he said I could. Can actually rent that one on Turo. It's got a cool chameleon green wrap on it. If you're on Turo and you look for a local Cybertruck rental, it's got to be the only one from a guy named Robbie. He let me drive it yesterday, and I've got to say, it was so fun. It was so fun. It was like driving a spaceship. I really liked it. Now, obviously, I ain't buying one anytime soon because I don't have the money. I don't have the money for a cheap car with good gas mileage, all right? Let alone Cybertruck. But I will say, after driving it and seeing all of the different features and things, I think I would. Even if modern day Elon Musk annoys the crap out of me, it was an awesome vehicle as far as my personal taste goes. I get why a lot of people would look at it and be like, I don't like it. But still, don't take a picture of somebody's car and go, look at this, this is stupid. Nah. I used to drive a bright red Chevy HHR. It was a very stupid looking vehicle, but I liked it, okay? Be nice. You could end up losing your job. You take a picture of the wrong person and publicly shame them. There was a woman in North Carolina. She saw a guy sitting at the table there, and he had a friend with him. It would be an inflatable friend. So, brings his inflatable friend out for a nice meal. This woman took a video of the, I guess you could call them a couple, shared it on TikTok, and, I don't know if she necessarily trashed the person, but still that went viral, and the boss was not happy that customers were being secretly filmed, put online, so people could laugh at them. Even if you don't generally see a person walk into a restaurant with an inflatable friend. I'm pretty sure I've never seen that happen. So just want to remind you, it can be rude, all right? To take photos or videos of people and publicly shame them, all right? I know that the internet nowadays is filled with nothing but, I shouldn't say nothing but hate and just outright rude behavior. There is good stuff on the internet, but it's certainly filled with, a little bit of that. Okay, maybe a lot of bit of that hate and just terrible, rude behavior that's unpleasant to read. Be the bigger person and don't join in on that kind of garbage. Could we make the internet a nice, fun, nerdy place again? I don't want to be old guy. Back in my day, the internet was all text, and you couldn't post photos. It was all text. If you remember the internet when it was all text, I was going to say you're old, but no. You're straight up nerd. If you're a longtime listener to this show, you know I'm a big fan of books. I've got a large library at my house. It's always growing. I collect books. I love books. So, obviously, book banning annoys me severely. All right? Parent your own kids. Okay? The end. Well, Florida taking book banning to like a stupid next level. Okay? There are places where book banning has gotten to be pretty ridiculous. Like right here. The Donnelly Public Library had to ban children. That was in Idaho. No children allowed at the library. Okay, anyway. There's a book called Ban This Book by Alan Gratz. It's a kid's book, okay? And there is nothing offensive in it whatsoever. It's a story about a kid who creates a secret library in his locker of banned books, okay? No offensive content in this book whatsoever, but it's about a kid who, trying to stick it to the school and making these banned books accessible to his fellow classmates. Sound like something I would have done when I was in school. Well, Florida schools are starting to ban this book because it teaches rebellion of school board authority. You won't respect my authority. No, you want to mock us and have a book that talks about secret libraries? No, we'll ban that too. Right over their heads, the point of this book. So this gave me a great idea. A great idea that I think I'm going to have to do. You ever seen these little public libraries? I've talked about them before. How I want to put one in my yard. It's basically a free little library. Just kind of like a little cabinet with little doors on it. Looks like a little house. You put it in your front yard and the goal is to take a book and share a book. You know, if somebody wants a book, they stop by, they get a free book. If people have books to, replace, they can put some other books in there. You take a book and share a book. I've wanted to have one of these in my yard just because I think it's great. It encourages reading. And there are certain days of the week that a lot of people are walking by my house, so I think that's cool. But what I need to do now instead is I need to have my own little free library, but fill it to the brim with banned books. And in big, bold letters, banned books. Take one or leave one. And that's the only thing that'll be allowed in there. If you want a regular old book, you got to go to another little free library. Mine, banned books only. And I mean, I don't necessarily want to let everybody know where I live. But, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. And it, I guess, is going to have to be me. How big of a library do you need to get? What are all the banned books? There's probably a huge list because people are so uptight. I just find it funny because, like, the type of books that people would actually, if they read the content, have a meltdown about are not on banned book lists because they're like extreme horror that nobody knows about, underground stuff. The kind of stuff I have on my bookshelves inside of my house. The brutal, crazy stories by people like Edward Lee. No clue about books like that. When I take a look at the banned books, look at the one we just looked at. No offensive content in it whatsoever. But I just laugh at those. I'm like, that's what people are worried about? Jeez. Yeah, don't pick up anything by Jack Ketchum. Yikes. Back in a few with Freak News. All right. Where is Little Falls, Minnesota? Little Falls woman injured after trying to walk dog from back of a pickup. That's not walking a dog, all right? I don't know what you'd call it because you're not driving. I guess the dog's walking. Was she standing in the back of a pickup? It's a terrible idea. We've talked about the Idaho law that's kind of ridiculous, that it is legal to ride in the back of a pickup. I wonder what would happen if they tried to ban that. Would people fight against it? I really don't know in this state anymore. I can imagine there would be people screaming about, hey, it's my right as an American to be free to make a dumb decision like ride in the back of a pickup without a seatbelt and put my kids back there. I could see people fighting for that. If only people around here would actually fight for their freedom on all these other things that we get restricted by the Idaho government. I should be able to go to the library. Okay, sorry. We already talked about my new library opening soon. Victor Wilt's Banned Books Library. It's coming soon. All right, back to standing in the back of a pickup. Again, I don't know if standing in the back of a pickup's legal. I'll have to ask Lieutenant Crane, but you can ride in the back of one. You have to wear a seatbelt inside of a vehicle, but you're allowed to ride in the back of a truck from which you could just fly out into the street. Okay, this woman, what do you think? That's right, she flew out of the back of the truck. As she was trying to walk her dog behind a vehicle. She was sitting on the tailgate. Unknown injuries is what the article says here. Well, let's see. You fall out of the back of a moving vehicle. I'm guessing cracked head. Humpty Dumpty-esque injuries are what I'm predicting she suffered from. She had a great fall. Hopefully they can put her back together again. Did they ban that book? Humpty Dumpty's a gruesome story. Are stories with very gruesome injuries, are those cool? Or do you have to have an ID for those? Because Humpty Dumpty, you always see him as an egg in the illustrations for that story. Ain't nothing in that story that says Humpty Dumpty's an egg. He just fell. And Humpty Dumpty, he had a great fall. And it was so bad, they couldn't put him back together again. Some walls are really tall. Do I need to explain further? All right. Sorry, we need to get to more stories than woman falls out of truck, right? DOT contractor apologizes for profane road sign on I-26. What did it say, though? I hate when the news reports on something, but you can't tell what it is. They're like, look at, they drive by and they have a picture of the profane street sign, the road sign, about road work. But it's all blurred out and you can't see, there's a variety of words that it could be. I'm not going to put the idea of what these words are in your head, but there's a whole bunch of different words it could be. I want to know what profane road sign people had to deal with. And depending on the profanity, it could have just been funny, Guess we'll never know what happened in Spartanburg County, South Carolina. Do they have comments on the article? Because that's what's really funny is a lot of times these articles will censor something, but then you just scroll down a little bit and you let the locals fill you in. Like if you want to see the most vile comments on the internet, you just look at local news websites. Yeah, so horrible as it gets. People worried about, I don't know. Anyway, let's move along here. I thought I had at least one more stupid story opened up. Something about people moving in next to a landfill and they were surprised that it smelled. Yeah, drive around if you're going to buy a house. Just kind of drive around the area. We see those stories often enough. There's the airplanes all the time making all this racket. Yeah, drive around, pull out a map. See if you're going to live by an airport. Look for train tracks. If you see some train tracks near your house, you're going to hear trains. If there's an airport, you're going to hear airplanes. If the local landfill or sewage treatment facility is right there, it's going to stink. It's going to have a stink every now and again. If you're near a farm, same deal. It's going to smell sometimes. Just want to let you know. These are Victor Wilt's real estate tips. Just trying to help out the community. All right, Freak News is powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. I'll be right back. I'm just being pummeled with articles about stupid people today. We talk about people at the airport all the time on this show. I guess this couple assumed that if they sent their luggage through the actual check-in process, a checked bag, that the airlines just don't look at it. They don't scan it. The only place you're going to have your bag scanned is if you go through security. Well, I want to let them know. Well, I guess they've let the world know due to the fact this is making the rounds in the national news and probably international. Your bags are being checked, even if you check them with the airline. Okay, they are scanning them. When this couple got from LA to Chicago and arrived to pick up their bags at baggage claim, the DEA Chicago division's like, hey, what's happening? How you doing? Can we check your suitcase? And this woman, Shania Logan's like, sure. 31 pounds of cocaine. Or I guess we should say suspected. Allegedly, 31 pounds of cocaine. Now, she's with another person and he tried to run. If you're at the airport, your friend gets busted with 31 pounds of cocaine, and then you run at high speed, well, throwing a couple bags aside. There's a lot of law enforcement at the airport. There's cameras everywhere. They're going to catch you, and then they're going to check those bags. And they'll do a grand total on how much cocaine you had between the two of you, that being 61.7 pounds of cocaine. What on earth would make somebody think you could get away with putting, I don't know what 61 pounds of cocaine looks like. Let's see if we've got a picture of it on Google Images. We'll just go a round number, 60 pounds of cocaine, just to see what it looks like in an image here. That's okay. That's a lot of packages. Okay. That's like a whole suitcase. What are you going to hide it with? A few t-shirts? I mean, people are so dumb. I will give them props for not holding up the security line. All right. You know how much that aggravates me when some idiot in security causes a delay so everybody else is having to wait even longer to take their shoes off and take their belt off and all that stuff. At least they did this in the check-in process and they didn't cause any delay for other flyers. And I got to give props to the airlines for what I would call a little bit of a troll here, because they let them make the whole flight. I'm sure they found out about it prior, right? They scanned the bag before putting it on the airplane. They let them take the whole flight thinking they're going to get away with it. All right, let's get the suitcase right when I'm in the clear. Then they bust them. Top notch. Top notch. When are people going to learn you can't bring guns into your carry-on luggage? Why is this so hard for people to figure out? I just simply do not understand. Like this one, the guy had an antique gun. It wasn't loaded. And he's like, my dad gave it to me. My father gave me this antique pistol. So I threw it in my backpack and showed up to greet the TSA. Do you know what the fines are like if you get caught with a firearm at airport security? Well, they can go as high as $15,000 in case you were wondering. You might go to jail. You can check a firearm with your checked luggage. There's rules you got to follow, but you can look into this. If you just can't travel without your gun, you got somewhere to go and you need to have your pistol when you get there, there are ways to do it. You have to check that gun with your checked luggage in a locked container. I don't know the exact process, but get on any airport website and you can find out. That one article said at the Philadelphia airport, so far this year, 15 guns at TSA checkpoints. I mean, you can't bring a water bottle through there. That's why you got to spend like $5 on a bottle of water once you finally get through security, because they don't allow you to bring one. I mean, I guess you could bring an empty one. But boy, they're going to probably pull you aside. You got an empty container. You never know what TSA is going to do. They're going to search everything. So I just wait and I spend way too much money on a overpriced beverage once I get in. But yeah, you would think people would just know if you can't bring pretty much anything anymore through security, why would you be able to bring a gun? I don't know. It's never going to cease to amaze me. K-Bear, what's happening?
Hey, on the water bottle, you can't take water as long as it's frozen.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive about it.
Frozen water bottle airport.
It can't be slushy. It has to be solid ice, and you can take it in.
You are correct. I had never heard this, but according to the TSA website, frozen liquid items are allowed through the checkpoint as long as they are frozen solid when presented for screening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's news to me.
Money.
All right. Thank you. Because, I'm getting sick of $5 water bottles.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, I did my research, and I'm like going, all right.
Wow. All right. Thanks, man. Greatly appreciated. And I will pass the word on to the listeners as well.
All right. Peace, man.
Thanks, man. Best listeners on the planet. I pointed out time and time again. I spout off at the mouth and I learn something new. happens almost daily on this program. So thank you again to the caller. I will make sure to freeze a water bottle in advance the next time I go through and save $5. It should be criminal what airports are allowed to charge for items. And I swear that a few years ago, there was a law, at least being talked about being passed, where not airlines, but airports had to sell items at a fair market cost. Yeah, I think that's gone completely out the window. That's, one of those Mandela effect things. You're imagining things, Victor. That never happened. No. Just plot ahead with as much stuff as you can. Load up on snacks. Yeah, packaged snacks. You can bring those through. The people next to you on the airline, on that plane, who get stuck eating one crappy Biscoff cookie are going to be mad when you're eating like a king, but hey, you can do it. All right, it's getting weird up in here. It's a great content day on the show, I gotta say. I like it when I'm finding all kinds of stuff in the news. Especially if we can talk about Harvard scientists and aliens in one article. This is the headline. Harvard scientists say there may be an unknown technologically advanced civilization hiding on Earth. All right, had I seen this article 20 years ago, I don't know, I probably would have been like, see? See the dumb stories that I share with you? Look, Harvard believes too. That's right, beware the reptilian aliens. This story is so great. All right. This is from futurism.com. There's apparently a new paper making the rounds. Within the scientific community, a team of researchers from Harvard and Montana Technological University. All right, now, wait a minute here. Let's just focus on Harvard. All right, Montana, I don't know about Montana scientists, but Harvard has that elite ring to it. Just playing Montana. I know we got listeners in Montana. Settle down. So anyway, they're saying that these sightings of UAPs, which is, the new classier name for UFOs, may reflect activities of intelligent beings concealed in stealth here on Earth, such as maybe underground or even walking among us. Well, if you've met Peaches, you would definitely understand the possibility of alien creatures living among us being a possibility, all right? Yeah, just talk to him sometime. The guy's weird. Okay. So, that's a direct quote from the paper, basically. Check this out. May reflect activities of intelligent beings concealed in stealth here on Earth, e.g. underground, and/or its near environs, e.g. the moon, and/or even walking among us, e.g. passing as humans. This is a long article, too. And like I said, it is great. Because they start talking to things like a remnant form of an ancient, highly advanced human civilization still hanging around, observing us. Or maybe an intelligent species evolved independently of humans in the distant past, possibly from intelligent dinosaurs. That's right, reptilians. And if you've seen some of the more advanced, life forms out there in the animal world, what about them cuttlefish? You ever seen videos of cuttlefish or octopus changing their shape? What about color changing chameleons and things like that? What about a super advanced reptilian species that can change its appearance and look like people? Like people! This is from Harvard. I want to remind you, this is from Harvard that we're talking about, UFOs coming out of volcanoes. What is going on? Oh, we're living in wacky times. Now, they did point out, yes, these are far-fetched hypotheses, and they should be regarded with plenty of skepticism. But hey, we entertain them because some aspects of your UAP are strange enough that they seem to call for unconventional explanations. That's from Harvard and, Montana, some kind of Montana scientist. Oh, we got a caller? They best be calling about UFOs. I tell you what, are aliens. K-Bear, you are live on the program. Please keep that in mind. Who's this?
All right, this is Zach. I got a counter theory for you with the alien thing.
Hey, it's not my theory. This is Harvard's theory.
All right, I got a counter theory for Harvard's theory. Okay, so what if aliens are us, but from the future?
Okay, you got to go deeper than that. You got to explain more.
All right, I'll get into it. So what if humans in the future discover time travel, and they want to go back and observe their past selves, and that's when we see UFOs?
Okay, so they wouldn't necessarily be aliens, just a future version of ourselves that have come back to it. Now, hopefully they've come back to do some Back to the Future style stuff and change us, change our behaviors from whatever is going to doom humanity in the future.
Exactly, you're getting it.
Yeah.
You said maybe it's dinosaurs from the past. What if it's just us from the future?
Boy, you would have to hope that they're coming back to save humanity, because boy, do we seem on a downward path at times. And I don't know, man. Could they just come out, reveal themselves, and let's clear things up a little bit quicker, get back to a little bit of rational existence? That would be great.
Man, I wish they would.
I do too, man. That would be wonderful. Be a lot. I don't know. It might get kind of boring though after the shock of people from the futures wore off. Then I'm sure people would get back to, yeah, but does the future really know what's going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks for letting me call in.
Hey, thanks, man. Peace.
Yeah.
All right, fun stuff in the UFO world. Could the government just come out and tell us what's going on with UAPs? Come on. It's got to be such a boring explanation that we'll all be let down when they finally do. But come on. We could change the subject, give people something else to argue about aside from politics for a bit. That'd be great. All right, I want to talk about fake news. And this is like actual fake news. All right? Not just, I don't like this news, so I'm going to call it fake. No, like actual fake news. Was just reading an article that fake news portals, these are not news websites that are real. They're created by AI or, shady Russian organizations. Fake news portals have surpassed U.S. newspaper sites. There are more just straight up churn out propaganda fake news websites than actual U.S. news websites out there. So please do your best to look into information before you share it. As we head into an election year, I don't know if you're even aware of this because of the way national news works. It doesn't like to get all of the information out there to people. They like to present a certain perspective that they know their viewers are going to eat up and react to rather than just, here's the news. You might not have heard about Russian interference in the news during the last election. It was rampant. So it's probably going to be worse than ever in the current election year. Please, take a look outside of whatever weird news site you somehow end up on and see if this other information is being presented on any legitimate news sources. All right? Because you're going to start seeing weird, unbelievable things. I see it all the time on my Facebook feed. Every single day, I see people sharing stuff that I can't believe they actually believe, but they do. They believe this stuff, and it's just being churned out by, again, places like Russian propaganda mills. All right? Do a little digging to see if the information you're being presented with is actually legit. Find some sources, etc. And like I've pointed out time and time again, look at more than one news website to get your perspective on the news. Look at what a variety of organizations are saying about a individual story. Because I guarantee each different national news website is going to give a different perspective on it because they're trying to feed the echo chamber that their audience loves to live in. You're not getting an accurate representation of reality if you are addicted to, maybe that's the wrong word, but it does seem right, actually, to one news source. All right? Trying to help people here with critical thinking and, being able to expose yourself to the true reality of the world. Oh, this year's going to get so crazy that if you don't start working ahead of things now, who knows what you're going to come out believing by the end of it. You've got to take a look at a variety of sources. And please be aware, you may be reading straight up manufactured, like actual fake news. Again, not, I don't like reality that I'm going to call it fake. No, like news that is designed, it's completely made up just to divide people and make people crazy. I wish I could think of the dumb one I saw just this morning. It was so ridiculous. It was one of these memes that, so-and-so actor is going to be leaving this show because blah, blah, blah. And it was completely absurd because it was some kind of a, leaving based on politics. And no, there's no basis in reality whatsoever. And I saw multiple people sharing it like, yeah, good for them. And it's like, no, it's just fake. This is just made up. Probably, again, by a Russian group trying to manipulate and divide the U.S. Please, people, please. For the love of all that's good. For the love of all that's good. Try to dig deeper into information. Don't just believe everything you see. Not everything is a conspiracy theory. Sometimes the simplest answer is all you need to look for. The simplest answer. People get digging real deep on some real crazy stuff. Sometimes things are very simple, okay? And all it would take to get that information is just look at a few different news sources that are legit. All right, I'll be back. I know I beat that, topic a lot, but it's important for humanity. It's important for the future of our society that people break free from straight up propaganda. It's so important. So I'll try not to mention it all the time, but please, just think about it a little bit. Just look around a little bit. Well, we could talk about bad things. I mean, there's never anything good when it comes to naked Florida man, right? Always a bad thing. This is a pretty entertaining naked Florida man story, however. Florida man, 73, defends alleged naked stroll through park during arrest. Because he's like, come on, man. There are nude beaches in Florida. Here's the thing, buddy. You gotta be at the nude beach, not just in the neighborhood. Now, strolling around on a hot, sunny day, nude, at an appropriate place, it's a freeing feeling. But you gotta be at the appropriate place. You can't just be roaming around again. Your neighborhood, which is where Rolf Braun, that's his name, Rolf Braun was arrested and charged with, a lot of different charges that are going to lead to him having a very difficult life. He should have headed to the nude beach. Instead, he was hanging out at the Recreation Plantation RV Resort in Lady Lake. About 1:30 p.m., just walking the road nude. Now, we've had plenty of naked Florida man stories over the years. I wasn't even going to do this story, but I got a call from another radio DJ in the building. I won't point out which one. Who's like, did you read this story? There's a fantastic part of this story that you may have missed. I'm like, yeah, it was another naked Florida man. I was like, no big deal. I don't need to talk about it. He's like, no, you got to see what happened when the cops came to his door, the door of his RV. So I start scrolling the article, and here's the paragraph. An officer made contact with Braun at his camper. Braun answered the door wearing a T-shirt as shorts with, well, everything exposed through the neck part of the shirt. So I figured at this time of day, what you might need inside of your mind is the image of a disheveled 73-year-old Florida man. Okay, picture 73-year-old Florida man. Get that image in your head. You know, long, white, gray beard with the mustache that's got the nicotine stains in it. You know, kind of greasy hair. Very tan. But then what you need to imagine is he's only wearing a T-shirt as shorts, and the neck of the T-shirt, well, that's, right there, right at his crotch. And he's opening a trailer door. Good morning, East Idaho. I know he's in Florida, but still, I just wanted to create some theater of the mind and give you some nice imagery to begin your day, your Wednesday, as you head to work or, I don't know, breakfast. Holy cow. Today somehow just rocketed by. I hope your morning is also going by at a very nice, quick pace. Hope your day is over with soon. You're home, relaxing, enjoying yourself like I'm looking forward to as well. And before I go, I wanted to read through a little bit of I guess it's not an article, it's a post. It's a question online that might make you feel a little bit better. If you've been through a divorce, you know it can be a petty process. It's aggravating, it costs tons of money, it takes forever, and things can get really stupid throughout the process. Somebody posted on Reddit, lawyers, what's the pettiest thing you've seen someone fight over in a divorce? And I would hope that these items make you feel better about some of the dumb things perhaps you had to fight over in your divorce. Somebody said the ex-husband dragged the ex-wife into court because they'd agreed to split costs for school supplies and extracurricular activities. The older daughter was on the swim team, and the husband was there to argue he shouldn't have to pay half of the cost of the $3 swim goggles. All right. Bro, shut up and pay the $1.50. Sometimes that's the easiest route to take. Just, you take a look at things and go, is this worth the fight? Is this worth the fight? And then you just go, take it. That's my best advice for the divorce process. If a fight is starting to erupt, unless it's something really important to you, just take it. Let's just get it over with. Jeez, let's end this. This is going on and on. Please just take whatever you want. Take it. $1.50. $1.50. Not worth the headache, because it's stressful as it is to go through these kind of things. You want to get yourself, high blood pressure, get all worked up over $1.50? There's got to be some other things in here that, well, actually, I don't know how you beat out $1.50. That's as petty as it gets. All right, a lamp. Not a special lamp, not an expensive lamp, not one with any sentimental value. Yeah, just fighting over a lamp. By the time litigation was over, they were in $6,000 deep over the lamp. Jeez, people are so dumb. Just take it, take the lamp. Oh my gosh. All right, fighting over a $40 picture of strawberries, take it. Yeah, like, I had some cool stuff at my house back in the day that some of it I really liked. But eventually I went, just take it. It's just stuff. I'll get more stuff. Very few items that I was like, no, unless they were just like mine. Like, okay, this is my stuff. I know there's no reason you want it other than you would be trying to be petty. No, for the most part, just take it. People get really crazy during the divorce process. I'm telling you, make it as easy as you can. You're gonna lose all your hair. You're gonna come out with the gray hairs, wrinkles. Lose some years off your life. Don't fight over a lamp. Don't fight over $1.50. Jeez. All right, anyway, there's that. That was the final piece of content for this program today. I will return, however, for the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, powered by Jalisco's, which was an excellent lunch yesterday, I gotta say. Had the Chipotle burrito, and it was amazing. So, yeah, maybe go get yourself some of that. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you again for listening to the show. Please subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Share it with your friends. This show is a production of Riverbend Media Group. To get more information on the show or to reach out to me, hit up riverbendmediagroup.com.